KiwiSaver money has traditionally been parked in listed shares and bonds and property, mainly on the share market. But one of New Zealand's active fund managers has just struck a partnership which could open up a new frontier for everyday investors like us. To explain what that means for KiwiSaver members, we're joined now by Mike Taylor, founder and CIO of PieFunds, joining us from Havelock North this morning. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Great, thank you. Now tell us what exactly it is you're doing, this partnership you've got.
So in our KiwiSaver Aggressive Fund, which is the highest risk strategy that we have for our KiwiSaver members, we've put an allocation into that fund of sort of between about 2 and 4% into Altered Capital, which is a venture capital firm in New Zealand. And that firm invests in about around 10 or 11 startup businesses, and well, not startup, but early stage businesses in New Zealand.
So these are not listed on the stock exchange, privately held. How do you, it's interesting because most of what we invest in KiwiSaver goes into the stock market, mostly over in America.
Yeah.
And it's, you buy your shares, but you can sell your shares and you can get the money out, it's liquid. With these companies, that's presumably more difficult. How do you manage that?
Well, that's why we only have kind of a small portion of the fund in this type of investment, because most of what we have needs to be relatively liquid. So you're right, these investments will typically be between 5 and 10 years. We won't be able to get the money out in that time period because we've given the capital to the businesses to grow essentially. But one of the main reasons why we need to access early stage investments is because if you go back 20, 25 years, there are a reasonable number of IPOs, so initial public offerings, coming to the market. But these days, I can't even remember the last time there was an IPO on the NZX. So that means in order to get access to growing Kiwi businesses, we have to invest privately.
Yeah, and we need these businesses to have capital, and it would be nice if it was Kiwi capital. So I like the idea of this. Are there any in terms of regulation, restrictions that stop us from doing this? Like, you mentioned your sort of liquidity requirements for a KiwiSaver fund. Does that need to be changed or looked at?
Well, I guess the main restriction preventing everyday investors from doing this themselves is because you need a reasonable amount of capital to get in, and usually it's restricted to wholesale investors. So this is kind of one of the only ways that people can access this. There are other providers that do offer access to this, iSales Ventures, which we're also using in one of our other KiwiSaver funds. But again, you still need to qualify as a wholesale investor.
Mike, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you.
Mike Taylor, founder and CIO of PieFunds, which is a KiwiSaver investment fund.